Hi and welcome to another narration presented by yours truly, Cryptid's Roost. Please be so kind as to throat punch the like button and smack the ass of the subscription button as well. And remember to tap that notification bell and then select all. That way you'll receive all notifications each time we upload new videos. I would like to reach out and say a huge thank you to those of you who have supported Cryptid's Roost financially. We pray the good Lord replenishes you abundantly, and to those of you who will later on. We pray the Lord bless you as you do so. And also a huge thank you to everyone for always supporting the channel with your likes, comments and shares as well. It is all very much appreciated. God bless you all. So grab your coffee, sit back and enjoy the show. And don't forget, where fear is, happiness is not. The Guardian, Part 6, Three-Headed Monster. This awesome series is written by FREDDEGRAN. If you would like to read more of their works, the Reddit link to their profile will be below in the description. Great work! Robert the Dark Slayer complimented the brave young children. Simply awesome! Nicholas was Nils' childhood friend, but he secretly was in love with Elena. He complimented his friends. Thanks, Nils and Elena both said. Now, give me that blade, Robert said. But I thought only Robert interrupted Nils by grabbing the blade. So that's why you are so powerful, said Nils. Yes, well, part of the reason. Come with me and I will show you another part of my power. Nils, Elena and Nicholas all followed the Slayer to a tank. Robert opened the hatch on the tank and a tiny demon the size of Nils' dead fairy, Navi, flew out. This is Firebrand. He is my familiar. Nils, who was ready to load up a powerful electric attack, lowered his hands. Oh hey, I am Nils. I am one of the Guardians. I know who you are, young Guardian. If you want to put that electric charge to use, why not charge up this tank? Nils did just so. Is it true that in the old days they used fossil fuels for cars, motorcycles, tanks and other vehicles? Elena asked Robert. Yes, it is true. But remember, before the war of angels and demons, there were no guardians and no magic users, so they did not have electromancers such as Nils to keep the lights on. Yes, we are lucky to have him, and I am going to make myself useful and raise some rock walls around the schools outside. It is so dangerous these days. Sounds like a good idea. I will use my newly charged up tank and go demon slaying. Many guardians sadly lose to demons, which lets them ravage around, killing innocents. But me and the other slayers will put an end to them. 4 weeks went by. Nils and Elena both stood guard each day, fighting and defeating an increasingly difficult pair of demon opponents. But this day was different. Instead of the now useful sight of 2 smaller circles, there was one giant circle of flames. Nils and Elena both stood ready, wearing heavy armour this day, and brandishing new sharp and shiny weapons, a long 2-handed sword for Nils and an even longer spear for Elena. Both had the usual belt with throwing daggers, and Elena had both her trusty crossbow and her trusty familiar Gimli, the tiny stone man. Nils was still, however, familiar less, ever since his fairy had sacrificed her life for his. And then, suddenly, an enormous beast appeared, larger than anyone they had ever seen. A 3-headed monster, a dog demon with pitch black fur burning with fire red eyes.
I am Cerberus, the dog who guards Hell's Gate.
All 3 dog heads said as one, before starting to bark and howl. Oh no, it can't truly be him, Elena said nervously. No way! It's got to be lying. Just another imposter, like the so-called Lucifer demon. We will slay this one just as I slayed him. All the 3 heads started breathing fire. Elena started raising a stone wall in front of her and Nils. Gimli, the stone man, jumped on top of the wall and started throwing rocks at the giant hellhound.
Ouch!
said the dog on the far left, hit by the rocks. The right head returned fire with a giant ball of fire from its mouth, hitting the tiny stone man, shattering him into pieces. "Gimli!" Elena screamed in despair. The middle head of the terrifying beast burst out in evil laughter. Nils saw the opportunity for a quick attack, rushing forward and cutting the right head of the monster, cutting it clean off, blood spraying from its neck. But he had no time to celebrate. The middle head of the self-proclaimed guard dog of hell bit his right arm. Nils was screaming in pain for his sword. His head was stuck in between the foul beast's jaws. He was struggling to come free but could not manage. "Nils!" Elena screamed, readying her crossbow to come to her boyfriend's rescue, shooting bolt after bolt at the middle head, but to no avail. The far left head blocked each shot with its arm. Elena threw her crossbow to the ground and came rushing with a spear in hand at the beast. The left head let out a small but fast fireball, but the skillful girl was even faster with lightning speed. She jumped out of the way, and quickly after this she pierced the dog from under his chin and upwards, piercing its brain on its way out, instantly killing the head. But in its dying spasms it clawed the young girl with its left paw, and its razor-sharp claws in her waist, just under her left breast. She fell to the ground bleeding and crying in pain. "Elena!" Nils was screaming for his love. He tried shooting the last remaining head with lightning with his free hand, but the beast blocked the attack with its right arm and bit Nils' stuffed hand hard, cutting it off from his arm. Nils fell screaming in pain. Nils had never been more scared in his life. With both him and Elena down, it looked like it was the end. Robert was nowhere to be found, but even if he had been here, he would not have been allowed to interfere. Those were the rules. One guardian for each demon, no slayers allowed. The dog chewed and swallowed Nils' hand in front of him. It put its right arm on him, pinning him down, and went in for the kill strike. A sharp bite at the young boy's neck. Then out of nowhere came a freezing spell, freezing the giant beast's last head. Nils saw his chance to not be dog food and quickly launched an electric bolt from his remaining hand, shattering the dog's last remaining head into thousands of pieces flying everywhere. Nils and Elena both looked up to see their friend and catcher in the rye, Nicholas. "Seems like my guardian power activated just at the right time," he said triumphantly. "Yes indeed," said Nurse Anna, standing over Nils, healing his arm to make it stop bleeding. "Sorry, I cannot make your hand grow back any more than I can bring back a dead person to life. Even healing magic has its limits." "I am just glad to be alive," said Nils. "It makes sense," said Elena. 3 guardians for 3 demons." "Yes, but they tried to cheat us, sending 3 in 1, knowing that we only knew about 2 guardians. I wonder how they found out about my own power even before myself." Anna and Nicholas carried Nils and Elena to the hospital room, where she took care of their healing process. Part 7. The Ice Guardian. He stood ready to hold guard as he had been, alone for the past week, slaying 6 demons and collecting their heads as trophies. He was armed with an axe in one hand and a shield in the other as his only company. His friends Elena and Nils were still recovering, although Nils' hand would never recover. He knew his friends were watching him from the hospital room window, as he had been watching them before. And so, a familiar sight. The burning ring of fire, the biggest one for Nicholas yet. And so it appeared his opponent, not his biggest in size, but perhaps his hardest yet. "I am Nicholas, the proud guardian, like my brother Gunnar before me."
"And what exactly happened to your brother? You will die just like him,"
the demon shrieked. It was a girl around Elena's age in a red dress with dark hair and bright yellow eyes with an evil-looking gaze. "Don't talk about my brother," Nicholas screamed, full of fury and rage.
Got you all riled up?
The demon girl laughed, an evil-sounding laughter. "And what are your powers? Water, like the one before you? It will be an easy match for me."
Water? Don't make me laugh. And yes, it will be an easy match for me,
the she-demon said, while launching a surprise attack, a bright red fireball. Not big, but Nicholas barely had time to block it with his shield. "Fuck, that was a close one," he screamed. He knew that even if Nils and Elena recovered, they could not help him. One guardian per demon, those were the rules. He quickly threw away his hand axe, hitting the demon in its chest. She pulled the axe out of her chest, wounded but not dead. She began to laugh. Nicholas knew why she was laughing. He had put his all in that one attack. With it not killing her, he was defenceless like a newborn baby. Ice powers against fire were not much use. He tried a quick attack with his empty-handed hand, trying to freeze the bitch with ice. But she surrounded herself in flames. The ice was of no use as it melted around her, and now she came rushing towards him, axe in hand. She took a swing at him, but he blocked it with his shield. He punched her with his fist. "Ha ha ha ha! Right in your stupid fucking face!" he said, triumphant, full of joy. The crowd cheering around him. "Nicholas! Nicholas! Nicholas!" They all cheered. It was like music to his ears.
You won't do that again.
She was not lying. With one quick hack, she cut his arm in two, leaving the boy in immense pain as blood spurted from his wound. "Oh hell no!" he screamed at the top of his lungs. He hit her again, this time with a shield, breaking her nose, making it spray blood in her face and eyes. She instinctively went to wipe the blood away to not cloud her vision. But Nicholas kept attacking, this time going for her throat, making her lose her breath. He tackled her to the ground. Laying on top of her, he kept hitting her in the face again and again. "Die, you bitch, die!" he screamed, now full of rage and bloodlust. She tried to block his attacks with her arms, dropping the axe.
No, please forgive me,
she began crying. Nicholas had never seen a demon cry before, but he was sure it was some trick, and it was. She lit herself on fire. Nicholas rolled away as the demon died, burning in her own flames. He could smell the smoke and her burning flesh as he lay on the ground, also burning in pain, closing his eyes, feeling he might meet his brother in the afterlife. Nurse Anna rushed forward, ripping her shirt off and putting out the fire with it. She was standing there in her bra and began to use her healing magic on him. He would not die, but he would never get his arm back.
"That fire bitch failed,"
Lucius said to his underling, Gargos, as they both watched from hell. "I'm sorry, my lord. I thought a fire demon might do the trick against an ice guardian. It always has before. But it appears the girl was quite incompetent."
"Luckily, I have managed to create this window into their world. Now we know the types of all three guardians. I need you to assemble a team of 3 that can't beat them all at once."
"I have just the team in mind. Allow me to get the 3 cursed brothers, my lord," the winged demon Gargos said to the horned demon Lucius.
"The 3 brothers? Yes indeed, excellent choice. You might redeem yourself after all your failures, at last."
Yes, my lord," said Gargos, embarrassed.
"It will help Lord Damien usurp his father's throne as the true ruler of hell."
"All hail, Damien, son of Satan!" the winged demon Gargos obediently shouted. Part 8. the Guardian trio. Elena was flying high over the battlefield, ready to provide air support for Nicholas and Nils on the ground. This had proved a successful battle strategy for a month's period of time. 3 friends had slayed many demons over this period of time: vampires, werewolves, frogmen, lizardmen, etc. The trio did not discriminate. All species of hellspawns were slayed with ease. Nils had chosen an opponent looking like a young boy and filled him with 6 shots from his 6-shooter revolver, emptying it out completely. This would prove unwise, as the boy turned himself into water, so all of the shots passed straight through the boy's liquid form without hurting him. The boy demon stretched one of his arms out and bitch-slapped Nils in the face. The one-handed boy could not protect himself with his hook hand, even though he tried. "Too slow," the water boy taunted him. Nils quickly dropped his gun and tried for a surprise attack of lightning from his hand. But the boy was not surprised. He squirted water on Nils' hand. Now the Guardian was shocked by his own attack. "Too slow again, Guardian," the boy mocked him. Nils was getting really frustrated and angry. He summoned a lightning strike from above, almost hitting his flying girlfriend, but missing the demon. Shit, this demon was a fast son of a bitch. "Watch out!" He could hear his angel girlfriend shoot from above. "Sorry, my love," he told her. "I'm okay, let's kill this demon fucker," she responded as she threw a spear at the water demon. "Not one of you can match the speed of Morpher," the water demon boy laughed as he morphed into his water wolf form. With his supreme agility, he dodged Elena's spear and was rushing towards Nils with his mouth full of watery but still razor-sharp looking teeth. "Don't be so sure," said Nicholas as he came skating on the ice he had provided on the battlefield. He had been hiding behind a rock wall that Elena had provided for him, waiting for the right time to make an entrance. He hit the water demon Morpher with a freezing spell. The demon was frozen mid-air, right before Nils' face. "Thanks," Nils said as he backed away from the demon. Elena summoned a rock with her magic and dropped it on the frozen water wolf, smashing it into thousands of sharp pieces, flying through the air. Her boyfriend had been wise to step away. The angel girl was working similar to a bomb plane from the old days before the demons invaded. The kids had learnt about human history in class and always thought it was a snooze fest, but had learnt wise battle strategies from those lessons, even though a world where humans fought each other and not demons was a strange concept for them. The 2 boys were rushing towards the rock wall that Elena had provided earlier. This had also proven to be a useful tactic in previous fights. Seemingly out of nowhere, Elena was hit by lightning and the blonde girl began falling to the ground. "I told you to watch out," she said as she came tumbling down. "It was not me, I swear," Nils shouted to her. "Of course not," a demon girl said as she began to cackle an evil laughter. "Oh, this is new. A demon-elect romancer with the same power as you," Nicholas said, as he and his best friend Nils were covering behind the rock wall. The 3rd demon seemed to be a rock type similar in powers to Elena, as it summoned big rocks that it threw at the wall trying to break it. At least they were in the middle of Elena and the demons on the other side. She had been lucky in her fall, being hurt but not dead, and also falling on the right side of the wall. If she'd been on the other side, the demons would easily slay her. Nils summoned a lightning strike from above, killing the rock demon as it exploded into a million pieces of blood and guts. But the electric demon had the same idea, summoning lightning from above, hitting Nils and knocking him out. Nicholas jumped out from behind cover and threw his axe with the one arm he had left and managed to hit his target, planting the axe right between the eyes on the girl Electromancer. "Shit!" she screamed as she fell to the ground, dead. "Good riddance," said Elena. Against all odds, the Guardian trio had once again prevailed. The crowd around the battlefield went crazy with celebration. "What a way to spend my 13th birthday," Nicholas said. "I celebrated mine in the hospital, so don't complain," said Nils. "As did I for my 14th birthday," said Elena. "Well, at least we will always have each other," said Nicholas, hugging his friends. The nurse Anna healed the young Guardians with her magic. Luckily, none of them would have to spend the night in the hospital this time. And then a tank parked outside. "This must be Robert," Nils said. The Slayer climbed out of the tank with 2 tiny demons flying around him. A metric shit ton of slain demons was in a see-through plastic bag. After him came a rock man the size of the same boy and a young boy and girl looking around 16 years old. She had dark eyes and dark hair, all black clothes, a spiky collar around her neck. Nicholas got lost in her eyes, and she was the most beautiful girl he had ever seen. On further inspection he could see that the boy, Paul, was a powerful hydromancer who had guarded the school before Nicholas's now dead brother. "Hello, losers," Paul said. He had always been an asshole. "What are you doing here? I thought the capital wanted you to stand guard there." "Of course they did, and they still do. Robert asked me to come to this shithole city in bumfuck of nowhere to replace you. Apparently he needs you for something important, although I can hardly see why," Paul said, and pointed his finger angrily at Nils. "Me?" Nils said, surprised. "Indeed I do," said Robert, the Dark Slayer, holding forward the plastic bag full of severed demon heads. Nils could see the heads. Dwarf, elk, skeleton, Medusa and werewolf were but a few. "I hate werewolves, they are such assholes," the mysterious dark-haired girl said. "Ha ha ha, they sure are," Nicholas agreed, charmed by the girl's looks. "I am Nicholas, by the way, and what is your name, if I may ask?" "I am Ivana from Transylvania," the girl said, smiling, revealing some sharp-looking cornered teeth. "And this rockman seems to be your new familiar. Please try to take better care of it than the last one," Robert said to Elena. "It does not seem like it can talk, so you can name it whatever you like," said Firebrand. "And oh, by the way, may I introduce you to my brother Arthur? He is a refugee from hell." "Indeed I am. I would like to be Nils's familiar, if you don't mind. I will not sacrifice myself to heal your wounds, master, but I am a skillful pyromancer. I can even make balefire." "Oh, that's great. I humbly accept," said Nils. He had no idea what the demon was talking about. "Okay, let's all take some rest, and me and Nils will go to the capital tomorrow," said the Dark Slayer. "I don't think so," Gargos the demon said, watching through his window in hell. "We are ready to slay the Guardians," 3 big and very menacing looking Vikings with demon-like horns and fiery red eyes all said at once.
"Yes, the demons will make quick work of these pathetic Guardians as revenge for my brother,"
the Demon Lord Lucius spoke. Part 9. The 3 Brothers. Someone had broken into their home. She could hear the glass shatter. She had been asleep. Now she was standing up, wearing only her underwear and baby in her arms. "Leif, wake up!" she screamed at the top of her lungs. "Honey, what is it? Surely there is no reason to panic." He woke up, dazed and confused. "There is all the reason in the world to panic. We must go, now. Someone is in here." He got up with lightning speed, no longer dazed or confused, cold sweat dripping down his body. In only his boxers, he opened the bedroom door. This was no time to get dressed. He peeked out the door. "The coast is clear, my dear," he said. He opened the door, and him and his wife was running down the hallway fast. They were going for the entrance door, but as they got there, they could see a big horned beast standing in the way.
I am Lucius,
the demon said as he penetrated the father's body with his devil fork, a long trident with 3 sharp edges. "Leave!" his wife screamed, with tears running down her cheeks. But she knew this was her chance. She ran outside and she could people standing there now. She was safe. Only she was not. The trident pierced her throat from behind. She could not even scream as she dropped her beloved baby, Nils. She thought before she died, the last thing she saw was a familiar face. Robert, the Dark Slayer, picked the baby up with one hand, the gun in his other hand. The gun was pointed at Lucius. Nils woke up screaming. His scream woke up both his girlfriend Alina beside him and his best friend Nicholas, who had been sleeping above them in the top bunk bed. "It was my mum and dad. Lucius killed them both. I saw it in my dream." "Okay, honey, calm down." Alina kissed him on his cheek. "It was only a dream," she said calmingly. "Yes, but I think visions of past and future in dreams can be truthful." "Indeed they can," Nicholas said, jumping out of his bed, standing on the floor, beginning to get dressed. "Well, today's a new day and it seems like it would be my last one here. We should get dressed and get going too," Nils said to Alina. They had just finished dinner. Nils, Alina and Nicholas had all eaten plenty. Guardians could of course eat as much as they wanted to. Robert walked over, followed by Ivana and Paul. "Time to get going," the Slayer told Nils. He and the other Guardians had all dressed themselves in armour, had their weapons equipped, and had drank the potions to enhance their combat abilities. 2 blue ones for the boys and a pink one for Alina. They all headed out, but as Nils and Robert was walking towards the tank, 3 big rings of fire appeared. "I guess it's one last battle before you leave, kid," Robert said, and handed Nils his revolver. "Sweet!" Nils exclaimed, holding the big shining revolver in his only functioning hand. The other hand had been replaced with a hook. Out of the burning rings of fire came 3 big, strong and tough-looking Viking skeletons with long, dark, blonde and red beards and even longer hair. They had horned helmets. No, they had devil horns that ran through their helmets. "We are Eric, Annie and Bjorn," they all introduced themselves. "We are 3 cursed brothers. We were once proud Viking warriors, but we made a bad choice and sold our souls to the Wishmaster demon. We now live this unlife, forever cursed instead of resting in Valhalla." Nils was surprised by this info and started to wonder how many of the demons he had slayed that had been former humans, but no time to dwell on that. He emptied his 6-shot revolver into the demon in front of him, the once mighty Viking warrior Bjorn, now an undead beast holding a giant warhammer. All of the shots hit, but he was not as good a shooter as Robert, so he did not kill the demon. "My turn," said the demon Viking Bjorn, swinging his big warhammer at Nils. He was barely saved by his love Elena, who projected a stone wall in front of him. He started to reload the revolver, which proved trickier with just one hand. The demon in front of Nicholas launched a quick surprise attack. A fireball the size of a tennis ball hit the young boy, destroying his armour and wounding but not killing him. As he fell to the ground, he could hear Elena screaming. "No!" She had frozen the wrong boy to protect him, it appeared. Eric the demon in front of her launched an attack, but she skillfully dodged it, flying on her angel wings up in the air. She threw a spear at the demon, penetrated its body, but not killing it. Nils's pet demon, Arthur, was flying beside her, shooting fire. But it was of no use against the three brothers, all of them burning, already immune to fire. Eric pulled the spear out of his body, blood dripping everywhere, and threw it at Elena, hitting the young girl in her right wing, making her crash land. "Elena!" Nils screamed, jumping out from his cover, shooting the demon in his kneecap and then his ballsack, making it fall to one knee. Then he shot again, 2 shots in the chest and 1 through its open mouth. He killed the demon brother, Eric, with just 1 shot straight through the head. But here came the last one alive, Bjorn, with his hammer swinging at Nils' ribcage, breaking his bones. All 3 guardians were down. "Help them," Robert said to Paul, who launched a water attack, breaking the rules of no outside slayer or guardian interference. A big burning ring of fire appeared, and in it the winged demon lord, Gargos. "Breaking the rules, Slayer," it said. Part 10. Breaking the rules. Nils looked up in shock. He knew you were not supposed to break the rules, but had no idea what would happen if you did. He was not even sure if anyone even had ever broken them before. "If you break the rules, so can I." Gargos lifted his hand and summoned 3 fire demons. Paul killed the last remaining Viking with a quick headshot. Its blood and brains splattered all over Nils, who did not care. He was happy just to be alive. Paul first splashed the 3 fire demons with water attack, and after that filled them with lead from the revolver, emptying out the cliff, and the demons all fell down dead. Gargos raised his hand and summoned 3 more, bigger and stronger this time. Paul dropped the revolver and with both hands sent a water attack on the demons. Nils added an electric charge from his hand, creating a combo attack, instantly frying the demons. It was like looking at someone being electrocuted in an electric chair. "Ride the lightning, you bitches!" Nils screamed and began to laugh. With both hands, Gargos summoned 6 demons, all of them one-eyed cyclopses. A big explosion hit them, sending blood and guts and body parts flying through the air. It was Ivana. She came driving the tank, driving over and smashing the demons till none were left alive. Nurse Anna had rushed out onto the scene and had healed Nils and was now healing Elena. Ivana jumped out of the tank and began to run towards Nicholas. He was on the ground in immense pain from his wounds, dying. Ivana slit her own hand with a dagger and offered her hand to Nicholas. "Drink," she commanded. "You will be a vampire like me, but you will be alive." Gargos summoned 1 last demon, a big minotaur, half man, half bull, wielding a gigantic axe. Nicholas drank the blood from Ivana's hand, turning him into a vampire, but also healing his wounds. Gargos seized his opportunity and flew away. Nils struck the demon in its face with a lightning bolt from above, hurting the minotaur but not killing it, seemingly only making it angrier. Elena sent a stone golem forward to wrestle it, and Nils' familiar started to burn it. The half-bull, half-man Dina cut Elena's familiar in half, and went for a swipe at the flying demon Arthur, but he was too quick and nimble, swooping out of the way. He was readying another attack when Nicholas froze the beast in place, making it solid ice. Elena was ready for a combo attack and summoned a rock flying through the air, smashing the frozen demon into pieces. "Good work, Guardians!" Robert the Slayer praised them. Suddenly a portal opened out to the ground, and out stepped a man. He said, "Robert, you have broken the rules and must answer to the Council of Slayers." Don't forget, if you enjoyed that story, be sure to pop over to the author's Reddit profile and drop them a line, or even give them a glowing review. I'm sure they really would appreciate it. The link to their Reddit profile will be below in the description. Please be so kind as to throat punch the like button and smack the ass of the subscription button as well. And remember to tap the notification bell and then select all. That way you'll receive all notifications each time I upload a new video. Oh, and don't forget to share the video far and wide. This will all help with YouTube's algorithm and will help to promote this channel more. And don't forget to check out the merch store. The link will be in the description and also in the video thumbnail. And if you would like an honourable mention, send in a snapshot of yourself with your purchase and I'll feature it in one of the videos. I now have my very own subreddit community where you can submit any stories you've written. You can submit your stories or encounters either there or send them to cryptidsroost@gmail.com. If you wish to remain anonymous, that's fine with me. All the links are below. I also have a Facebook group, Twitter, Reddit, and you'll also find me on Discord. If you would like to support this channel and help make it grow, my PayPal is paypal.me/cryptidsroost. Again, that will also be below. And don't forget, where fear is, happiness is not.